So, thank you for coming in. Can you state your name and what you do?
My name's Bill Selwood. I'm Managing Director of Lumenmetal in Sweden.
Okay, so what exactly does your business do?
It makes fine wire, and then we plate it with precious metals like gold, copper. And it's used in the electronics, aeronautics, antenna industries.
All right.
What made you and your brother want to start this business?
Well, we've kind of like serial entrepreneurs. The first business I bought was back in 1980, and it was a radio station, and it was a terrible station. Turned it around, bought a few more, and then started other businesses as well as a restaurant. My brother did the same thing. He had a precious metals company. He had a restaurant. So we're kind of serial entrepreneurs. There was an opportunity because he's more of a scientist. I'm more the business guy. So he liked the scientific part of it, and I looked at the numbers and thought we can make this work. I don't know if that answered the question.
It did. And why do you think that your business was so successful, and do you think you could have done anything to make it even better?
Well, the business, your definition of success changes. Like, for instance, some people like to create a product and then get it to market, then they sell it. We tend to want to improve everything that's gone on. The business currently, we've had it 15 years now, and we're still not there yet. We still have room to grow, but we have a good staff. They're happy, so we're contributing, employing people, even though it's in Sweden. So there is success, but there's plenty more success.
If you could go back in time and change something about the business, what would it be and why?
Probably would have chosen a business that wasn't in Sweden. It's just a lot more difficult to manage, let alone it's expensive. Plus, Sweden is a socialistic country, so entrepreneurs and capitalists are not really welcomed with open arms like in the United States. Mm-hmm. Capitalism is what makes the world go round, we believe. So I think if it had been in the United States, it would have been probably a lot more successful than it currently is.
And how often do you have to travel to Sweden to be with this business?
I go every month.
For how long?
Between 5 and 6 days. I mean, we have it set up now that everybody kind of knows what they're doing, and the great evolution of Skype. We invested in a very, fancy Skype system in the conference room in Sweden. So it's just like being there. We don't have to be there as often. So.
Alrighty, and were you hesitant on joining your brother in doing this? Because I know you said you both invested in radio stations. Like, were you ever hesitant or have second thoughts about doing it?
No, because we had done the restaurant together, and it was kind of, I took the charge on that, and he kind of took the second chair. This one, being more of a scientific, bend to it, he's kind of the genius. I just make sure the profit and loss is where it needs to be. So we kind of complement each other.
Did you ever have any doubts that it was going to fail at one point?
Oh, there were a couple times when it almost failed, because it's anything technology driven. Like one time we had an account where it was a Chinese customer, we just screwed up the gold that we plated on the wire, and it cost us, over $3 million. And for a smaller company, that's hard to overcome. So again, the risk of being a smaller entrepreneurial company, you have to make sure you have multiple customers. At one point we had one customer who represented 50% of our business. That's awful. You never want to be there. You're much better having 100 customers, than 5.
Yeah.
In some businesses that's all there is, but it adds to the risk of and the chance of failure, because you only need to lose 1 or 2 of them and you're done.
Yeah.
And it can happen not because you did anything. Like we do a lot of government contracts, and one company, if they lose a contract for a satellite, then they don't need the gold plating that we, so it's nothing we did.
Yeah.
So having too few customers is always risky, regardless of what business.
When did you realize that this business was going to succeed, and did you have any doubts, or were you scared that something bad would happen?
Well, realistically, I'm always afraid something bad's going to happen. And it has more not to do with what we're doing. It's more the environment which the business is in. Because, again, being a socialist country, there are things that are out of our control. So I don't think I'll ever not be worried, because something that we didn't control could cause us harm. But I'm pretty confident that it'll continue to grow. And again, our ultimate goal is to sell it. So, that's usually every entrepreneur's goal is to sell it. And for me, it would be sell it and do something else.
If you were to do something else, what business or what type of business would you invest in or buy?
I'm always enamored by companies that lend money and invest money in small businesses. I mean, venture capitalists are the big guys. They have billions that they invest in big companies. But small businesses that need $50,000 or $100,000 in return, for either a piece of the company. So I think it would be more a broad investment kind of company than any specific. Like I would never do another restaurant, that I know.
Alrighty, I think that wraps it up. Thank you very much for your time.
That's it?
Yeah.
That was pretty simple. Any other questions? I mean, now this is for your entrepreneur course?
Yes. I don't think we have any other questions.
Are you guys going to be like building your own business during the class?
I think that's something, but I'm not positive yet.
But I mean, do you have to do it as for the course? Like,
I think eventually, yeah.
do you have to write a business plan or anything like that?
I think there's a business paper that we have to write. We have to come up with an idea and write about it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the key to any business, and one of the reasons why my brother and I get along so well is, I'm kind of a business plan freak. I mean, I love writing them, and they really are the roadmap. You know what I mean? So it's like, but you'll find that out if you go down that path.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Any more questions?
I think we're set. Thank you very much.
It's been my pleasure.